Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Fed News, your April 2nd edition of Fake Figure Wrestling News. So, nothing exciting. No new people have been signed. No one's in talk right now. Kind of a slow week. It was going to be likely the case once um, converting elites into ultimates kind of ran out. Plus, I just haven't seen a lot of elite customization taking place right now. So, hopefully, it picks up next time. But your match results for the week: on Rising Up, Razor Ramon continued his undefeated streak, defeating Gangrel. Imperium, that's Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, defeated Jason Jordan and Buddy Murphy by pinfall. And the main event would see Gunther defeat Rico by pinfall. On the main show, Owen Hart defeated Val Venus. Stone Cold Steve Austin defeats Steve Blackman. Roddy Piper introduces a new client, Psycho Sid. This came after Sean O'Haire left to WCW. Triple H would defeat LA Knight by pinfall. The Hardy Boys would defeat Demolition by pinfall, and the main event would see Batista and Bret Hart defeat Psycho Sid and Roddy Piper by pinfall. Over at WCW this week is Level Up, as Demolition would debut and defeat Street Profits by pinfall. Brian Pillman defeats David Otunga, and the main event would see Ricky Steamboat defeat William Regal by pinfall. Over to the main show is Cedric Alexander defeats Sunil Singh by pinfall. Sean O'Haire comes out and says that he's told everyone he is the man, and now this proves it, holding up the championship. The next match would take place was Drew Gulak defeats Samir Singh by submission. However, Bill Goldberg would interrupt Dolph Ziggler in the back as he was saying he deserves a title shot, but goes silent when Goldberg says, "So you think you're next in line, Dolph?" Just walks away. Back to the show as Brainbuster would defeat Fashion Police by pinfall. Macho Man comes out and says he wants a world title shot since he beat Goldberg and got stiffed out of the title opportunity last week. Over to Great Muta, who defeated Ryan Sakota by pinfall. And the main event would see a fatal four-way as Drew McIntyre this time defeats Dolph Ziggler, Randy Savage, and Bill Goldberg by pinfall to claim that number one contendership status. ECW held its first show this week as Scott Steiner defeated Test by pinfall. Randy Orton would defeat Rick Martel by pinfall. The main event would see Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho end in a double countout. AEW held a show this week as Lucha Bros defeated the Young Bucks. Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Sammy Guevara. Darby Allin would defeat Wheeler Yuta by pinfall. FTR defeats Best Friends, Trent and Chuck Taylor. And the main event would see Malachi Black defeat Samoa Joe by pinfall. NXT held a small show this week as well as Kevin Owens defeated Ridge Holland. R-Truth defeats Sheamus. And the main event would see Big E defeat Braun Strowman. Over to IWGP as they held their pay-per-view Insurrection. Tony Mamaluke and Vito defeated Cruz de Toro and Joaquin Wilde by pinfall. Bill DeMott would defeat Lance Storm to win the British Heavyweight Championship of Rev Pro. Scotty Riggs and Mike Knox defeated Billy Kidman and Paul London by pinfall to win the IWGP Tag Belts. Steve Corino defeated Chris Harris and Chuck Palumbo in a triple threat match. Mike Awesome defeats Jerry Lynn by pinfall. Luther Reigns defeats Rene Dupree to win the IWGP United States title. And the main event would see undefeated Snitsky remain undefeated while he defeats Mark Jindrak by pinfall to win the IWGP World Championship. No show for Impact this week. However, Red Impact had a show this week as the Ascension defeats Big John Studd and Tyler Bates by pinfall. Drake Maverick would score a win over No Way Jose, and the main event would see Umaga defeat the champion of Alberto Del Rio by pinfall in a non-title contest. Nothing for Ring of Honor this week. However, Superstar Wars of Wrestling took place this week as 5 matches. The Fantastic would defeat Buzz Sawyer and Dick Murdoch to win the NWA USA Tag Team Championship. George South defeats Italian Stallion by pinfall to win the UFW Television Championship. Dr. Death Steve Williams defeats Ronnie Garvin by pinfall to win the North American Championship. Randy Rose and Dennis Caudry would defeat Midnight Express by pinfall to win the UWF Tag Team Championship, and the main event would see Kevin Sullivan defeat Dr. David Schultz by pinfall to win the UFW Heavyweight Championship. Nothing on TNA this week. NWA held a little show though as Super Crazy defeated Rosie, Funaki defeats Tajiri, Coco Beware defeats Tony Atlas, and the main event would see Ernie Ladd defeat Jimmy Valiant. All matches ended by pinfall. Over to OROH as Michael Elgin defeated Savio Vega by pinfall. Chris Candido defeats Blue Meanie by submission. Sami Callihan defeats Rocky Romero by pinfall, and the main event would see ACH defeat Juice Robinson by pinfall. Nothing for the World Wrestling Council nor GCW this week. That's all for this week. Check back next week in April and see the results as we get ready for a upcoming pay-per-view with the WWFE as well as WCW.